Welcome to the CBS Sports College Basketball channel, our new home for all things college basketball, from recruiting to all the news and insight throughout the regular season, and also the transfer portal. And if you've been following along over at 247sports.com, you know that it is the start of commitment season for the college basketball recruits. We've had several players commit in the last 2 weeks, with many more on the way, and we got another one for you here today with Trevon Carter-Givens, a four-star big man out of SoCal Academy in the Team Why Not program on the EYBL circuit. He ranks as the number 115 overall recruit in the class, and throughout his recruitment process, he has ultimately narrowed his list down to just 3 schools: NC State, San Diego State, and USC. So without further ado, let's bring in the man of the hour, Trevon Carter-Givens. Trevon, welcome to the show. How you feeling today?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great. Excited to see the school you ultimately pick here in just a few moments. But before we get to all that, introduce us to the special people you have up there today.
I got my mom, my little brother, my dad, my 2 sisters, SoCal Academy, my teammates, my coaches.
Trevon, you have proven to be one of the best defenders in this 2026 class, an elite rim protector, but you also have a lot of untapped potential ahead of you. In your own eyes, what has really separated you amongst your peers in this class?
What separated me is I'm not focused on scoring or, highlights. I'm just focused on winning.
You've had several schools all across the country recruiting you and pursuing you, but you've narrowed it down to just these 3 schools. What was this whole recruiting process like for you?
It was good, knowing I came from a small town, no offers, not getting looked at, and then coming to SoCal thriving. It's good to know that my hard work is paying off.
As you went through that recruiting process, what kind of things were you looking for in a future school?
A good coach, a program that knows what I could bring to the table, and and obviously academics too.
Well, how difficult for you was it to ultimately come down to this one school you're about to reveal?
For me, I feel like it was pretty easy. Just talking to the coaches, going to see the facilities, seeing the program, asking about the teammates. It's just easy pick.
Well, Trevon, before we get to the reveal, you did not get to this place where you are today all by yourself. So I want to give you the time here to just thank and acknowledge all the people that have helped you along this way.
I'd like to thank my coach, Nikki, my coach, Josh, Coach Julius, for bringing me in and believing in me, getting me to where I am today. And most importantly, my family, my mom, my dad, my little brother, my 2 sisters. I just want to appreciate them for everything they do for me.
All right, Trevon, the moment is here. Where will you be playing your college basketball?
I'll be committing to North Carolina State University.
Congratulations, Trevon. Why did you pick NC State? Congrats, Trevon. Why'd you pick NC State?
Mainly because Coach Will Wade believes in me. He believes I can be an NBA player. And NC State's a great program, great facilities, great team, and the culture is crazy. I love it.
You took that visit to NC State over the weekend, spending time with Coach Will Wade and the rest of the team. What was it about your time there that made you feel at home and knew that that was the place for you?
It felt like NC State, they're focused on winning. It feels more like a family. So I feel like being a part of that would be something special.
Well, NC State fans are very excited about the Will Wade era. You are the first commitment for him in this 2026 class. In your own eyes, what was he bringing to that college program?
I bring a defensive presence. I'll protect the rim with everything I have, and I'll give everything to NC State.
Awesome. Well, Trevon, thanks so much for joining us and sharing this moment with us. Congrats again, and good luck to you this season and in your career ahead at NC State.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, there you have it. Trevon Carter-Givens, a 4-star big man, is off the board and headed to NC State. For more on this decision, let us bring in our Director of Scouting, Adam Finkelstein. Adam, welcome to the show. All right, Adam, what does this commitment? You see Trevon commit to NC State. What will he bring for the Wolfpack in the short term?
Yeah, I think the short term he's going to bring, as he said, I thought he was pretty self-aware, to be honest, knowing that he's someone who can really change the game with his shot blocking. He's also very efficient at the rim, shot 71% from the field in EYBL play, and that's because he's a big man who's not trying to prove he's something more than he is. I actually think he may have some long-term touch, but right now he's content to be a rim runner and a lob threat, and obviously a shot blocker. I think the thing that is rare about him defensively is he's fairly mobile as well. So he's going to provide some versatility, even if it's just in terms of different ways he can defend ball screens along with that shot blocking presence. He's got pretty good hands as well. Obviously, he's going to need to get a lot stronger. And so I think that's going to be the key. Even this season at SoCal Academy, how can he develop his body? And then when he gets there for the summer session, what can he do in terms of immediate gains in the weight room? That'll help dictate what he can do right away as a freshman.
Yeah, this is a player that we had outside of the top 150, but following what he showed this summer with Team Why Not, he has now moved up into the number 115 overall spot in this class. And I think he's a really intriguing long-term prospect. So in the years ahead, what do you see out of him at NC State?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the short term is one thing, but the long term could be a vastly different projection because realistically, you have to try and think about what he might look like if he has 30 pounds of muscle on his frame. I know that sounds like a lot, but at his age with about to jump into a college weight room, I think that's realistic. And again, you're talking about someone who can protect the rim, who can move his feet laterally, defend pick and roll in multiple ways, maybe even be somewhat switchable, at least for a slide or two on the defensive end. And then he knows who he is offensively with the rim running, the lob threat. And all that stuff is tailor-made to what the center position is right now. The fact that he has good hands is going to allow him to, explore different offensive scenarios. Maybe he can be more than just that rim runner and lob threat. So I think when you start to fast forward this thing 2 or 3 years down the road, you see a very significant upside. And to your point, he was a riser in the recent rankings. But I think if we see more evidence that his development is progressing at a linear rate or even accelerating, if we see that body start to build up, he's a guy that I'm very open to continuing to rise in these rankings because I do think he has a very significant upside. And I think it's really a credit to Will Wade and his staff at NC State that they are simultaneously building, not just for the short term, because we've heard him talk about how he wants to contend right away, but finding these long-term pieces that they can develop, retain, and then build out for future years beyond just the 25-26 season.
Well, Adam, great insight as always. Thank you for joining us. And I know we will be seeing you very soon. So there you have it. Trevon Carter-Givens off the board at NC State. For all the latest on NC State and beyond, I encourage you head over to 247sports.com and use that promo code if you're not already subscribed, commit65, and you will get 65% off all memberships. And you will then be able to find out all the latest insight in these recruitments and how these dominoes may be falling in the months ahead. Thank you guys, and we'll see you guys very, very soon.